we've come to get the answer to the age-old question. Who would win in a submission match between Diamond Dallas Page and Al Snow?
I've wondered that for a long time.
Yeah,
It's plagued me since the early 90s, before I saw either of these guys wrestle.
it's up there with the fantasy matches that never happened. The Shawn Michaels and The Rock. Daniel Bryan and Eddie Guerrero. Al Snow and DDP in a submission match.
But we're about to get that answer.
Yeah.
Or at least one person's version of said answer.
Because this is Fantasy Warfare.
It is.
And just disclaimer, all Fantasy Warfare results you hear on the Wrestling Rundown are 100% accurate, and that's exactly how it happened every single time.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm Travis Colt, and I approve this message.
It's not just my version of how this match would go, but it's the definitive version of how this match would go. So,
But it is also his version.
yeah.
It's his definitive version.
Mm-hmm. It just so happens that my definitive version is the definitive version. And there can be no other versions.
Not to be confused with the definitive virgin.
Yeah.
Which I keep hearing this being said a lot. Every time one of us says definitive version, in my head I'm hearing definitive virgin.
Which I'm pretty sure
is Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty sure there is no definitive virgin in this match.
Okay. DDP was married to Kimberly for a long time. So definitely not him.
Al Snow's got like 2 kids. Does he? Pretty sure.
Oh, Al Snow was in ECW. And
It's true.
yeah. Just listen to any of Tommy Dreamer's stories about what went on in ECW.
Yep.
He is proud of that. Apparently you went on in ECW.
No, definitive virgin.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. But anyway.
What? You do a really bad Vicky Guerrero impersonation, by the way.
Excuse me!
Yes, Paul Heyman? Doing a bad Vicky Guerrero impersonation?
So, who would win in a submission match? Al Snow.
Al Snow, my guy. My pick.
My guy, Diamond Dallas Page.
Well, let's not forget, before I give my result, you each get a chance to make one last argument.
This is true.
Yeah.
So, let's go in the same order that we went to pick them. So, Al Snow first.
Al Snow. Alright, I feel I base it off just his background he does have a martial arts background. So, I mean, there are some techniques in martial arts that could be submission holds. At the same time, that means that a good portion of how he thinks is dedicated to conditioning, which I think is the key factor of survival for a submission match, is how long you're able to withstand submission holds.
Yeah.
So if he has conditioned his body through martial arts training to withstand the pain, which is probably why he was so good at ECW.
Right.
Because they did a lot of painful stuff there.
Yeah.
So that's just more pain that he can withstand. And more wrestling experience than Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond Dallas Page started way late in the game for his age.
This is true.
Already with a bad back before he even started wrestling. So, we got a lot of things I feel going in Al Snow's favor.
All right.
You're right. Al Snow does have
Thank you.
Okay, I guess
Al Snow wins. Hallelujah.
No.
Wait, hallelujah. Religious experience over
You're
here.
right that Al Snow does have the pain tolerance. Through the years of ECW, through his martial arts background. But we are talking 2001, 2002 DDP. This is where he was beginning to create what we know today as DDP Yoga. This is what allowed him to have another 2-3 years in WWE. He was able to continue at the age he was at. So as far as like taking pain and submissions, he contorts his body in DDP yoga so he can withstand those positions for an elongated amount of time. Granted, he didn't go through all of the hardcore aspects of ECW like Al Snow, but he wasn't exactly against using weapons. I've seen him be in hardcore matches before. He's gone against some pretty tough guys. He made Goldberg work. That's some credit right there. If you can make Goldberg work, you got some game in the world of wrestling. So, granted, yes, he was a little bit older, but I think the fact that he made such an impact in wrestling at an older age, I don't think the age factor would necessarily hurt DDP, especially when he's pretty much changed fitness for himself, and he's been able to not only save himself, but other people's careers in wrestling.
But I feel like Downward Dog is a lot different than, per se, Al Snow trying to hyperextend his elbow.
This is true. But if he's conditioned himself to be stretched and bent and contorted in different ways, submissions aren't going to take as much of a toll.
It's a fair point, and it's one I considered. So, before I go into too much more rambling, I'm going to say the winner is Al Snow. The main reason is because through the matches I watched, including the main key factor I looked at for DDP was matches he had against William Regal. The matches I watched, he used almost no submissions that I could think of. And winning a submission match, yes, it's about how much you can take, but you can't win a submission match if you can't do a submission. Now, I'm not saying that DDP was incapable of doing submissions. I'm not saying that he couldn't have pulled out something if he had to. But the fact that he's not used to it means he's not as likely as Al Snow to go for the submission hold or know how to properly defend against them. Al Snow, even though he was hardcore, he was very technically sound in the ring, if you watch a lot of his matches. So that's why I think Al Snow would win in a submission match against Diamond Dallas Page, just because he knows submissions better.
So it's pretty straight up, like, the most simple answer.
Yeah.
That you could, nothing, like crazy super fancy about it.
No.
It's just, if you know submissions better, you're more likely to apply them to a greater extent and greater amount of punishment while applying the submission hold, as well as knowing how to alleviate the pressure or counter the hold better.
And I mean, even if this match broke down, because it's submission, you can only win by submission, even if it broke down to a hardcore match where I'm sure DDP could hold his own against Al Snow, that's no question in my mind, he still couldn't win if he can't lock in a good enough submission hold.
Fair enough.
Fortunately, the diamond cutter is not a submission.
No. He can turn it into a cravat. From where he's at.
Yeah.
Cravat on the ground.
Yeah.
Keep that on my notes.
But again...
Your notes? You gonna be fighting DDP pretty soon?
No.
But,
I don't want you giving me a diamond cutter. This isn't gonna end well for me.
alright. So that's Fantasy Warfare.
I suffered my first loss
Yeah?
in Fantasy Warfare.
Ah!
To Al Snow.
Is that my first win?
No.
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 Because last week
because-
was my first week.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, you've
Okay.
beaten him a couple times.
Alright, sweet.
That was my first loss.
Yeah.
Well, The streak had to end sometime.
Yeah. Just be glad it wasn't Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
If you ever pick Brock Lesnar, I'm quitting.
Let's both pick Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's it for Fantasy Warfare.
Next month, I get to pick the match.
And I'm
Yes.
gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Next month, I'm the referee.
And we gonna fight.
Oh boy, do I have something fun in store for you guys.
I'm excited.
Do Kalian on a pole match.
A big hole necessary for this
It's gonna
match.
be that. Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't go for that. I'd let the other guy try and get the big scary dude down. He'd probably hit you.
This is both. No, you get it. I don't want to touch it. If you untie it, I'll grab it. No,
We got other videos.
We do.
Raw, midweek, Smack DZ, Indie News, Fantasy Warfare.
What'd you be seeing pop up throughout the course of the week?
Yeah.
All a bit earlier this week because we do have a bunch of shows.
Everything's switching.
Everything's shifting.
Everything's earlier.
Everything's shifting.
And don't
days
forget,
this
we got
week.
all these things. Likes, subscribes, favorites. Is that a thing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
YouTube now?
Like, favorite, subscribe.
There's comments. You can
Comment.
Yeah. Tell us, who do you think would win out of Diamond Dallas Page and Al Snow in a submission match? Do you
Emails.
Do you agree with Thomas Wolfe? Do you disagree? Tell
Email
us
us.
why.
Comment, email,
Follow on
Facebook, Twitter, tweet us. Maybe we should put DDP and Al Snow's Twitter handles down here too.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Just tweet.
Tweet them and let them know who won and lost in
Yeah.
this fight.
Just tweet it. Tell us no. Just tweet.
Link them.
Congratulations.
Put the link to the episode too.
Can you imagine if just like, well, at this point, like 16 people just like tweeted Al Snow, congratulations on your win over DDP.
No, but I can imagine maybe 3.
Wonder who those would be.
You and Cody.
You're not even gonna congratulate the guy you picked in Fantasy Warfare?
I'm gonna call him.
All right. Bye. Leave. Don't leave. Go to the next video.
You need to be nice.
Leave this video. Playlist.
Yeah, leave. Are you calling Al?
Yep.
This should
Alright.
be interesting.
Should we keep rolling or?
Shh. I don't know, he's not gonna pick up. There's no way.
Who knows? We still got 16 minutes since they.
Well, I don't know. He's
Right.
did he pick up?
Nope.
No.
But I'm just now taking into consideration that here it's 3:44 in the morning. So
Well, it's 6 in the morning where he is.
yeah. He's working for TNA. It's not like he's gonna get up.
Yeah.
He'd be smarter if he didn't.
Just looks at the clock. It's way too early for this shit.